Hey, Nate, you there?
Yep, I'm here. Thanks, Ken.
So, yeah, you should be getting an invitation that's inviting you to be a panelist.
Never getting them.
Really? Now, are you checking your township email?
Every day, yeah. Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm gonna write that down because yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Who are they coming from? Jennifer or
Jennifer. Yep.
Okay.
From Jennifer.
All right. Video works.
Awesome. So you're.
Hey, Kathy.
Oh, Kathy's muted.
I didn't unmute myself. Yeah, Nate, I think they come from Ken, not Jennifer.
Oh, did they say they come from me?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so Jennifer logs into my Zoom account, but it will be a Zoom message. So.
All right. Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Pfeffer. How are you?
Good. Can you
Go
guys
grab
hear
mine.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay, I've introduced myself to two of you guys that are new, Nate and Ken. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hey, Kathy, how are you? Oh, she's muted. Okay.
I'm good.
Good.
I can't wait till we can meet back in person. This is crazy.
No, I agree. Totally.
I'm sitting out in my barn here just because in my house with the kids and the dogs. There's no way.
I'm banished to the basement.
That was my other option. I'm out in the barn. I got a fire going behind me and a heater going in front of me. We're good.
There you go.
I quickly read the email from Jim Fink, and it looks like we might be headed that way.
Yep.
Back to being in person.
Just waiting on the governor's signature. Then,
No.
then assessing what measures are necessary.
So that probably won't happen. Is that what you're saying?
Hey guys, we had one unit where they met, and I guess the police showed up. So it's crazy.
There was one up by Flint, I believe, wasn't there?
Yeah, I'm not sure. My partner heard about it. Was mentioning, hey, so crazy.
All right, Genesee County.
It was in Genesee County. He just told me.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Your own police show up. That cracks me up. It's like, you're gonna be kidding me.
Yep.
Hi, Janet. How you doing?
I'm great, Nate. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
What do you got behind you there? Okay.
I'm out in my barn. That's steel, a car lift, a wood stove.
Awesome.
It's my sanctuary at home.
Kathy looks like she's in a portrait studio. The basement. Yeah. My background would match Nate's if I took the sheet down. There's no good lighting anywhere in my house. Hi, John. How are you?
Good, Janet. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yvette, hi.
Yeah, I wish we were could
Hi, Yvette.
be in the same room. So.
Hi, guys.
This'll do.
Hi, Yvette.
How's it going, everyone?
Good.
Going.
Who all has jammy pants on?
All right, something for a second here. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I think the audit meeting's the most fun meeting of the year.
Bet you do.
Yeah.
Need to get out a little bit more, Yvette.
Right.
Been working from home too long. Yeah. Or she's got a bottle of wine sitting next to her.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. John Pfeffer, he just knows how to make numbers just come alive,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on board too, but I think the reason Yvette likes this meeting so much is because she doesn't have to come to all the other ones.
That's possible.
I mean, I do enjoy hanging out with you all. That's a good way to put it,
Even
Steve.
virtually, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we haven't gotten to see you for a while, Yvette. I missed your face.
Here it is.
Yay.
I always miss you guys too. I know it's weird. It's a very weird year.
Hey, Lenore.
Hi, Ken.
How you doing, Lenore?
Doing well, thank you. Nate.
Hey, Lenore.
Hello.
I know Jackie's coming.
Yep, she's just ending a Kiwanis meeting. I left. I want to be too late.
Okay.
And now, Janet, you got a planning commission meeting tonight too, right?
No, yesterday. Today,
Oh,
Wednesdays.
I'm sorry, Jackie has a Parks and Rec meeting.
Yeah, she's missing that one.
Or joining it late, yeah. Hey, Josh.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, Josh.
I do have to say that basement rafter look is becoming very popular these days.
Josh, you need
That's
to
the new thing.
paint it black. That's what mine is. You can't tell at all.
Would be helpful.
Hey, Jackie. Is there anybody else joining us that we know of? I see there's a Terry in the audience. I didn't know if that was a member of the public or someone we're expecting. Well, with that, I'll call to meeting the special meeting of the Northfield Township Board of Trustees for December 17th, 2020 at 7 p.m. And if you could please rise and the pledge and invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United
States of America and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, just watch over us this evening and give us guidance as we review financial well-being of the township, and be with us as we work down the road and continuing to bring good things to people of the township. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody. Ms. Manley, would you please call the roll? And please remember that when we call on you, please state not only your full name, but where you are located at geographically, including county and state.
Keeps getting worse.
County and state.
Do we have to do township or just county and state?
Oh no, where you're at
All of
in
it.
what state. So Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
All right, Ken, we'll go you first.
Ken Dignan, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
All right, Otto.
Jackie Otto, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Nelson.
Joshua Nelson, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Chick.
Janet Chick, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Zelenak.
Lenore Zelenak, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Moko.
Nate Moko, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan.
Kathy Manley, Northfield Township, Washtenaw County, Michigan. And we are all here.
Excellent. We do have a quorum, and that is the first meeting we've had where everybody's been in Northfield Township. We're meeting virtually, but we're here. Next is adopt the balance of the agenda. Is there any changes in the agenda? Anything? All right. Hearing none, I'll make a motion to adopt the balance of the agenda as presented. Is there support?
I'll second.
Motion by Dignan, supported by Nelson. Ms. Manley, will you call the roll?
Zelenak.
Yes.
Otto.
Yes.
Chick.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Dignan.
Yes.
Moko.
Yes.
Manley. Yes.
All right.
7-0.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is petitions and communications. This is a time when we are welcome to hear from the public. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address the board at this time, please raise your hand and we will give you an opportunity to speak. Not seeing anyone, we will move to the next item is board member comments and manager clarifications, which I don't believe there are any. We do not have any correspondence. Next is presentation for the fiscal year 2019-2020 audit presentation. Mr. Pfeffer is with us today to give that presentation. Mr. Pfeffer, did you have a presentation to share with us or screen share, or did you want us to go over the physical one we have in front of us?
It would be the physical one, but Ken, what I'm going to do is make some comments about it, and I'll refer to a few pages in it if necessary, okay?
Great. All right. With that, I'll turn it over to you, sir.
All right, great. Well, first of all, obviously, we all know with the being in the COVID year that everything's a little strange. The audit and our lives obviously are. So I just wanted to start out by saying, you know, the audit had to be done remotely. And the good news is that it was done timely and within budget. So there's no additional cost. We got it done on time. That was based on the help of the staff of the township, who did a great job. And, you know, the assistance of the manager, but a special thanks to Yvette for the job she does. The posting the books of a township is like posting 5 companies. And the one thing is with your utilities fund, a large utilities fund, that's quite a job. That's like a small, or maybe you could say a large business. Depreciation, you got to book receivables, payables, everything. So it's a big job to get done. And we do appreciate the efforts of everybody at the township, you know, as far as doing that. We have 3 board members. I introduced myself, you know, with Ken, Josh, and Nate. So again, you know, we're the independent auditors. We come in, you guys have your books, your financial statements, and we give an opinion on it. We don't change them or do anything else. We suggest maybe a few adjustments, but we come in and we do a lot of testing that are required and just to make sure that everything's in good shape. The report, rather than going through this whole monster, I can at any time be available for emails or calls and physical meetings as we go down the road, because I'm really looking forward to meeting the new board members and, you know, sitting down and talking about, you know, any questions that you may have about the township. Obviously, as the auditors, we get a lot of insight in a lot of areas. And so, you know, we do have a pretty good understanding of what goes on. With that, in the audit report, so you really see 2 things that we gave you. There's also a little management letter, which there wasn't really much to say in there, but there's a thicker audit report, which is 76 pages, and then the graphs. So what we do is those 2 items will go to the state of Michigan and for their review. And the key to this is that, what is your opinion? So in the big report, and I won't go through, you know, exactly reading that opinion, but it's called unmodified. So unmodified is the highest level of opinion we can issue. You guys got a great report that way. And the importance of that is, should you go out for bonding, which you did, that's important for that. The bonding agencies look at that, and it reflects on your bond rating, which was good. So again, you're able to go out and get those bonds to do a project. So that unmodified opinion is very important. So, you know, I just want to make sure you understand. But when we do that, those are your financial statements. This kind of goes in a little bit more of the technical side. We're just giving an opinion on it that everything's good. And, you know, that's our job. We're independent. So we have no connections with anybody at the township or anything like that. We have to be totally independent. Oh, I didn't start out by saying I'm in downtown Brighton in my office, which looks like a dorm room as you look at the back of it, but hey, this is what it is, man. So, but we've been, you know, we're a local firm. We've been involved with the township for many years. And so we have a really good understanding of what's going on, you know, with the township. We take pride in what we do. And one thing, you know, my partner Ken's still here working. He's a township auditor too, like myself. As partners, we get involved with the job. There's some firms that will send out, they call them juniors or, you know, other staff. And then the partners really don't go out there. They might answer a phone call or whatever else. We always make sure we're out at the job from beginning to end, so that if questions come up from a board member or anyone else, we can answer that question and get it done. And then, you know, help if any of our staff has questions, you know, that can be addressed. We also rotate our staff, so no one's, you know, working on the job every year. And so we have that going involved with it. But I just wanted to let you know a little bit about, you know, our situation. With that, just a few other highlights I'm going to hit on. So the good news is too, is that as the new board members come in, the township's in really good financial condition. Let me explain that to you. So there's 3 or 4 major funds. So you have the utilities fund, but you have the general, fire, and police. So in a nutshell, those are really the things I would concentrate on as a board member. And when they come up and they're doing budgeting coming up soon, if you know, as you look at those budgets, that would just be one thing I would keep in mind, is that you know, take a good look at the budgets and make sure you understand that. The key to both police and fire obviously comes down to millages. Those millages are very important to support those millages. If you know, if there's any problems with any of those millages, the township's going to probably try to help that fund through the general fund, which is difficult. But again, that's very good if the board will support those millages, because it's very important to the township, both police and fire. So overall, here's what happened in general fund last year. The general fund balance ended up at about $1.5 million. Previously, it had been lower than that. And it was kind of the thought process back a ways that maybe, you know, having too much of a fund balance wasn't a good idea. And I'm not going to say it was actually a previous manager who wanted to reduce it, to thinking that, you know, we should not have as big of a fund balance. But here's our problem. Right now, your expenditures in the general fund are about $900,000. Your fund balance right now, I think, is about 1,516. That is still not too much fund balance, because we have COVID. We have other things that come up during the year that you have to make sure you have these reserves. So I'm saying, you know, when you want to do a project, you know, sidewalks or, you know, putting up help with a park and all that, that's all good stuff. But always focus on this fund balance. It can go away very quickly should an event occur. And I'm going to explain a little bit about how that can happen very quickly in a township. Then, as you go on to, I'm just going to give you a quick scenario of the police and fire. So the fire fund, what happens there is they usually have a little bit bigger fund balance. And they've been able to keep maybe 60% of next year's expenditures in a fund balance, where if you go over to the police fund, it's maybe only 25. Is 25 and is a 60 enough? You know, it gets a little bit tight at 25. And there's certain times of the year where the general fund has to help those funds before you collect taxes, meet some bills. So always just keep in mind these fund balances, because I like to tell you, if I was on the board, what I would be concerned about. And, you know, just keep that in mind, you know, and as you're spending money as far as those fund balances go. So those are the big 3 really that you have to focus on. And the good news is, you know, if you're getting good information from Yvette, which she does, you can kind of keep in mind where you are in your budget, making sure you're not spending too much, you're within budget. And that's something you need to monitor and stay up with during the year. You don't want to get to the end of the year and go, wow, why are we so short in our budget? You don't want that. So as a board member, that would be one item I would focus on. So I'm kind of sharing this information with the new officials. One other item too that's very important that I like to talk about is cash management. And the reason I'm saying this is, you know, I'm trying to explain why you should support maybe, you know, what my philosophy is, because I've been doing this a long time, and I've seen Black Tuesdays, Black Thursdays hit and it's not a good thing when it hits. So the good news is the township has over $7 million right now. That $7 million is invested in different institutions. And the good news is, which is like, this is the top of the top of top, of your 7 million, it's all 100% FDIC insured, which is really good. So what I look at is, you know, the rates might be a little bit lower of what you're earning, but you guys all want to wake up after a Black Tuesday or Thursday and go, man, I hope that money's still there at the township. It will be with this kind of investing. You know, again, this is where I come from, how I would feel about it. So these are things I want to share with you. As old and new board members, you should be aware of. These are the things I would focus on all the time. And so with that, now what might happen too is in good times, bad times, the bank sometimes it's harder to get all of that, but they can collateralize the money. If they collateralize it, it's almost better than FDIC insured because that bank's actually putting money aside and they say that they'll cover your bank account there. So if you've got $2 million, they're going to put that money aside, say it's been collateralized for Northfield. So I'm just giving you a heads up what that means. That's still a good thing, but you know, I want you to understand that. So, you know, that's an important thing. So the other thing I want to kind of give you an education on, but explain better. So everyone has the pie charts, you know, those pie charts, there's one in the whole pot that's the most important is the first one. So when you look at this thing, this is general fund revenues. So again, this is to bring the new board members also up to speed to understand. So here in the general fund, your total revenues are $1,670,000. Now look at this, taxes, only 17%, because most of the taxes of the township go to the schools. And, you know, again, there's millages that go to fire and police, but most of the revenues, most of the taxes go to the schools. But look at the state shared revenues, the blue part, that's almost 45%. So the one thing you always have, I always have my ear on, you should always have your ear on, is are there going to be any changes in state shared revenues going up or down? So again, here's what happened. COVID hits, closing businesses, sales tax goes down, licenses go down, everything goes down. That's where this money comes from. So there was kind of, not a battle, but a lot of discussion up in Lansing to make sure this stay where it is because units really rely on this. You could see if you cut out $744,000 of your budget, your fund balance, you guys, would go away very quickly. So that's always something to keep in mind. That's why I come back to this fund balance thing. You know, you could have 5 accountants and they'll say, oh, you can have 50%. Oh, you can have 60%. 75 is good. I don't feel that way. I think at least 100%. And then anything you can do about that just to make sure you're protected. Just for like what happened this year with COVID. Or if all of a sudden the state of Michigan makes a decision that, hey, we're going to cut to certain units located in certain areas, part of those revenues. So I just wanted you to understand this part of the pie that you should clearly focus on, you know, this part, because this isn't really known to many people. When I'm giving the audit report physically, I really hit this one pretty hard to make sure even, you know, everybody in the public understands it. Hey, you know, realize the township general fund is not getting much of your taxes. They're going to the schools. They're relying on businesses paying sales tax and other taxes. So that's a key thing, you know, that I want you to understand. So again, a lot of what, like, you know, what I'm saying tonight is related to the audit, but it is again to maybe help new board members understand this more. And then back to again, you know, I can't say enough with what the treasurer did, you know, keeping that money secure, because it's like, I always say it's grandma's money. You know, you can't lose a dime of it. Nobody wants to walk around a township, you know, and, you know, if we had anything like that, it's got to be secure, and the treasurer's doing a great job. That's the way I look at it. So I just wanted to be clear that you have an understanding of that. I think the only other thing is that, so what happens is we have to, within a timely period, submit the audit report to the state of Michigan. It's got to go in by the end of this month. So with the COVID and getting this thing done, we're a little bit later. Usually I'm presenting it a month or so ago and whatever. if you have any questions or anything like that, we can still address it here in the future and look at, you know, any adjustments that we can make at some point in time. But one thing I would ask that you would do is approve the audit report tonight, so I can send it into the state. Again, it helps with bonding, state share revenues. If it doesn't go in on time, state share revenues, they'll hold up your next check for that. So, and then if you have, I'll be glad to answer questions tonight, but if you want to send me emails, call me, and then physically, I can't wait to come out, you know, and meet the new board members and discuss anything you want to. So I'll just open it up for any questions.
Hey, John, this is Ken Dignan.
Yep.
Can you just explain that sending the report up to the state, that's not the letter that you gave us?
No.
There's a differentiation between the letter, which talks about a few areas of attention. That's not what goes to the state, correct?
No. And with that too, Ken, I just wanted to mention one thing with that. So when we send the report up to the state, we have to answer some various questions, you know, to the state of Michigan. And in that letter, just so everyone understands, there's a section in that letter that's in every audit. We do 35 audits. It's in every one. It says there's some deficiency because of separation of duties. You can't have enough people working at the township to get around that. It's just something that has to be. And when I was going to pull up, and oh, it's right here. So on the one that goes to the state of Michigan, they actually have, let's say, 20 questions. And one of the questions says, other than a separation of duties and whether they can write the audit report, are there any other discrepancies? Which you have none. But they expect the separation of duties enough that it's in even their questionnaire. Other than that, it's like they expect it. So I would just ignore that. Actually, your management letter is really good. It's very clean and it's a good letter. So, you know, as far as the audit goes, it was a great audit that we had. And you know, again, the state of Michigan, when they look at this, they'll be very happy. One other thing too, I wanted to point out in there, different than like the state of Michigan retirement plan, which is way underfunded. Your retirement plan, this would be another thing as a board member I keep my eye on. You're within 90% funded. And that is like the top, whatever, 2% of the state of Michigan for units. That means you guys have 90% of the money in to pay for all the retirement there for the pension. And you know, you're not that far off for 100. If you wanted to put the money in, you could get up to 100. Putting it in to get to 100, is that a bad idea? Not at all. You know, I'm for not having that, and I'm for getting, you know, ahead on things. Then if you do that, you won't have to worry about, hey, we still have that unfunded thing, and we want to put in a park, we want to do this and that. But you got, the one thing I just wanted to mention, you're in really good shape that way. Okay.
Excellent. Ms. Chick, please.
Yep, I just wanted to, I really appreciate this, John. I think this is extremely helpful, and I know this is a lot of work that you put into it, but I think this is probably something that we can refer to more easily, especially with questions from the public. But I did have a question about that letter that you sent to the state. In your big report, I noticed on the first page where the, not basically, I'm calling them acknowledges, that the manager is not listed and Paul Burns is no longer our attorney. So I don't know if that makes a difference.
Well, what we do is we go with the Paul Burns. You're right. That could change because that happened before the audit was over. Okay. We typically, like, again, the new board members are not listed in there, but I will, before I submit that, I'll change the law firm.
Yeah. Okay. So the manager doesn't have to be in there. We've had a manager since 2000. What?
Yeah, that is your preference. We can, I can add the man. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'll make those changes.
But excellent, and I'm very happy with our report. We typically have a really good report. This makes us more happy this year. So. Yeah,
exactly. And again, it's very important. Again, for Ken, Josh, and Nate, you know, if they got questions, just reach out. I mean, you know, I'm always available. I'm here in Brighton. If you want me to meet, I'll be glad to come out and that, you know, because, you know, it helps us all if we understand it better.
Excellent. Miss Otto. You're muted, Ms. Otto.
You're muted.
So two things. I would take Mr. Pfeiffer up on his offer, because I know when I started, I did spend some time with him. It was very helpful to understand the budget and then understand when it comes to forecasting and everything, when we come to budget time, of how everything falls in. So John is very good about working with you on that, and I would take him up on that offer. John, I would like to, in your letter that you sent to us, even though this is, I wouldn't say a bad thing, it's something that we can't avoid, talk a little bit about the segregation accounting duties that you outlined in here. I know that the rest of the newer board members may not understand it, but talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so for instance, with Yvette, she's your finance director. I don't think, Yvette's currently not full-time, is that correct?
Right.
Yeah, so one thing that would help is, you know, if you had a full-time person, that would help. And then also there's probably certain jobs in there that could be split up a little differently that would help. But to do that, you would have to bring somebody maybe more full-time that's part-time and get involved in that area, such as in payables or in some other area. You might have a few more full-time people. And that's the thing, the question is that, Jackie, is that worth the extra cost for that changing? Now, for internal controls, to have more and more better controls, that's always a good idea. You know, again, if I feel like the controls are getting really bad in an area, I will let you know. But I do think that you know, it's a cost kind of balance thing, because getting more people in there to do more things. I do think there's maybe a few things that could be different, you know, in payables in a few areas, but other than that, that's really what it is.
Okay.
So are we managing though with our segregation of duties? I mean, are we doing what we're supposed to be doing, or do you think that we're lacking somewhere where we should consider bringing someone on?
Well, I think that there's maybe a couple areas that would help a little bit, that would take the load off of people, you know, as far as that goes, that we could help you with for sure.
Okay. Jackie? Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm done.
Questions? Zelena?
Yes, I don't have any questions. I think one thing I do have a comment though is I think we have to put both Paul Burns and Jim Fink, because they were both our attorneys during this time period.
Okay, yeah, I'll add Jim Fink.
Yeah, because I don't think we removed Paul because he was, and then Jim came on in
period,
like February. Yeah, during that time period.
And then you want me to add the manager?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I will.
Okay. And so I would just like, as people have said, that take up Mr. Pfeiffer on his offer to call him anytime you have questions. I know that during COVID, I did call him a few times to make sure, and I always call him just to get his opinion on an audit. You know, what would be the audit perspective, such as when COVID came, we had to do a wire transfer, and we only really had one hard signature, which was mine, but we had Miss Manley second it through an email. I just wanted to make sure things like that were appropriate. We made an investment in a CD. Again, we did one signature, but we had an email to back it up at that point from Miss Manley again. And then just when we moved to the insured cash sweep, I talked to Mr. Pfeiffer again to get his audit perspective. You know, does this meet, and is this good from an audit perspective? And even moving forward potentially with the collateralization into a different bank, again, I want his audit perspective. Is this a good thing? So I know through the year I do call Mr. Pfeiffer when I have some questions and related to the financials as well, just to get his perspective as when he comes in and does the audit, so that we're in good shape. So I appreciate your time and always being available. That's very helpful to me. Thank you.
Thanks, Eleanor. Ms. Otto?
So John, do you have is there an issue if we could have e-signatures on some of these instead of just having it in an email format, that we could have signatures done in an Adobe PDF and just have them do their e-signatures? I know where I work, we have to do some billing integrity with the state, and we have 5 signatures and we're not all in the office. So we do e-signatures with it. And I didn't know if that would be something that the township could also take on as a standard.
Well, right now, you know, especially because of the COVID, it would definitely be fine to do that. You know, we have to eventually go back to some of our old ways on, you know, physically doing these things in the future, but definitely we could do that.
Okay.
Can't hear you, Ken.
That first, and then Mr. Moko.
Hi, thanks for letting me sit in on this meeting. I just want to say Pfeffer, Hannaford, and Polka have been amazing. I've been with the township for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And so it's always a pleasure working with them. Through this year, there were multiple COVID outbreaks and things like that. So it was really great that we were able to work remotely. And so I wanted to thank them for their flexibility and for working with us. And I also want all the new board members and previous board members to keep in mind that you can call me anytime as well. I'm happy to answer questions. And I think in regards to some of the things that have come up, one of the things that we've wanted to do for many years is just write new procedures. And I think John would back me up in saying, like, a lot of these things are possible, whether it's e-signatures or any of these other things, as long as we have some things in writing. I think that strengthens our internal controls. And I think the additional, you know, considering additional staff helps us to kind of make it possible to strengthen those things internally. So I've always been a proponent of being proactive versus reactive. This year has made that extremely hard. But that's kind of my technique and my strategy, just so you all know when you're working with me. So I look forward to planning with everyone. I just sent an email to the supervisor earlier today about the budget planning, which will start in January. So looking forward to all that. And thank you all for all your work.
Thank you, Ms. Starbuck. Mr. Moko?
My question was mainly to John about the segregation of accounting duties. With a township of our size, this is a normal thing. You said this is a normal thing you
Right.
find, correct?
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard that right. And then thank you, Yvette and John and everybody else involved. Great job. It was a good, not a real exciting read, but a good read to see how good we're doing financially. Yeah. So thank you.
Yvette thinks it's exciting.
Exciting accounting is not probably a good thing.
It was a page turner. I have no idea what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding. It's terrible. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Pfeffer, the one thing I'll say is, first of all, the I'll call it abnormal fund balances of these sizes are something I've not seen. I've spent 8 years on a board of education where 5% is something to get excited about when you have a 5% fund balance, you know. Yeah. We strive for 8, and to see 100 and something percent is, you know, it's very different. And, you know, but no, I appreciate your guys' time. I do have some uneasiness with our unfunded liability with the pension fund. I too would love to have 100% funding of our pension, so that we never have that creeping behind, especially in a financial crisis. Just have that solid, and you know, that certainly is something that I would love for us to strive for. But no, I appreciate your guys' hard work. I appreciate the hard work of Ms. Starbuck and Ms. Zelenak. I think we're very fortunate to have the two of them. Right. You know, to have 100% of our cash funds secured is something to definitely be hailed as a great accomplishment. So I appreciate it. Ms. Chick.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on Mr. Pfeffer brought up about the previous manager that we did bring the fund balance policy down to 85%, and the thinking, well, it was a better time back then as well financially for the economy, but was to give something back to the public, and that's what we did with the money. So might not be a good idea right now, but that's what we did.
Okay. Ms. Otto?
So to piggyback off what Janet said, I did want to share with the board the thought process of the previous board was the reason why we did bring it up to 130 was because we didn't know what COVID would do this year. We really didn't know what the state revenue was until very late in the year. I think it was September when we found out, or mid-September when we found out. Usually we know around June, July time period what our state revenues are. And so I think the board also decided at that time is just keep it where it's at because we don't know what 2021 is going to bring. Even though we have, we have a lot of people going through unemployment, a lot of businesses may close through all this. We might have a recession, and we don't know what the state funds are going to be for next year. So I think that's why we were very, very conservative in our spending for 2020 and going into 2021. I will share too, because I work with the state, is the state still has not approved their budget. And they have gone into their fiscal year without approving it. They approve appropriations to my company on a monthly basis, but we still have not gotten an approved budget. And this is how a lot of vendors that work for the state are working right now, is without approved budgets. So it's a little scary, and it just tells us, and it tells me that 2021 is going to be very tight going into 2022.
Ken, could I address a couple things?
Sure, Mr. Ains.
One, just to reinforce the need to adopt the audit tonight. As John mentioned, the state wants these in by the end of December, but he alluded to the bonds that were just issued. And I've already been contacted by Standard & Poor's wanting the audit. So I had informed them that there was going to be the meeting tonight to discuss it. And I'd like to have you approve it if you would, so I can send it off to them right away and get off on a good start with the reporting. The second thing is following up with Ms. Otto's comments. Part of the reason I think the state has not adopted the budget is they keep talking about getting money through the federal stimulus packages, which keeps getting deadlocked. And that was one of the reasons we recommended that you assume there would be a big cut this past year in revenue sharing, is because they keep alluding to needing all this money from Washington without explaining what would happen if they don't get it. But they do put a caveat in the description on some of their statements that these actions are subject to legislative and economic developments and the change they might make. So you really have nothing written in blood, so to speak, to say you're definitely going to get any of the funds for coming year. So it's something to be concerned about.
Brains? Is there anyone else? Or Mr. Pfeffer, did you have any final comments?
No, again, I'm just really looking forward to working with everyone going forward. And, everyone, you know, just to clarify again, is, you know, Jackie mentioned the reason why the, you know, the fund balance went up, but it's really good to have that right now. We have some units that are not in that position. And the thing about the state shared revenues, again, to keep in mind is we do have, because we have a business side of our firm. We do have companies that are failing and that are closing. Sales tax could be really, you know, affected. Should that happen, again, they're going to readdress the state shared revenues if they don't get the federal funds. You just have to keep in mind that is a quick change on, you know, your financial condition, since it's 45% of your revenues. So just always kind of keep that in mind, that you know, we have to make sure we have enough fund balance. So.
All right, excellent. Thank you for coming this evening. Thank you for your hard work on the audit. I know everyone appreciates it. And
all right, thank you very much. I'll leave now. Okay.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Have a good night. Safe night.
Thanks, John. Look forward to meeting you.
Right,
Thank
bye.
you, John.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Have a happy holidays.
all right. So we'll move down to new business action items. The first action item is the approval of the special meeting minutes and regular meeting minutes of December 8th, 2020. Does anyone have any corrections to those? If not, someone would like to make a motion to approve those as presented?
I move to approve the meetings, approve them.
As presented, okay. Is there support? Supported by Otto?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have a motion by Nelson, support by Otto, to approve both the special meeting minutes and the regular meeting minutes of December 8th, 2020. Is there discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Manley, will you call the roll?
Chick,
Yes.
Manley, yes. Moko,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Dignan,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Otto,
You're muted, Jackie.
Yes.
7-0.
All right, excellent. And next item is the acceptance of the audit report. Ms. Zelenak, would you like to?
Sure. I'll make a motion that we approve the audit report as presented with the addition of Mr. Fink and Mr. Ains as Mr. Fink as the township attorney, in addition to Mr. Burns, and Mr. Ains as our township manager.
Excellent. We have a motion by Zelenak, supported by Nelson. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing no discussion, Ms. Manley, would you call the roll, please?
Dignan,
Yes.
Zelenak,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Manley, yes. Moko,
Yes.
Otto,
Yes.
Chick,
Yes.
7-0.
All right, excellent. Next, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the treasurer to move the 2020 construction funds from the sewer retention basin from First National Bank of Howell to Level 1 Bank.
I'll support.
Okay, there's a motion by Dignan and supported by Chick.
No question.
Mrs. Zelenak, did you want to say something on this?
I can just say, you know, the note explains it. I did talk to Mr. Pfeffer when I was considering this, just to see, again, from an audit perspective, if he had any concerns, and he did not have any concerns. He thought it would be potentially good to diversify our funds a little. So that's the real driver behind it. Because I will admit, I think about our funds a lot at night to make sure they're secure. As you said, I don't want to wake up one day and have a Black Friday and go, oh my, help us, please. So I do consider this quite a bit in my time to make sure that we are secure from a township perspective, that when we need the money, it's there for us.
Right. I love the analogy the auditor uses with this is grandma's money.
It is. And one thing is I did work with Level 1 to initially they would not collateralize the money. So I obviously I could not put it there. I would not put it there, and we worked through it, and as it says, the attorney reviewed the contract as well, so I'm very comfortable with it. My thought is with the holidays, I'll probably move it at the beginning of the year, but we'll see.
Okay. Mr. Moko and then Ms. Chick.
I just want to say I think this is a real good move, Lenore. It's a good thing for our finances for the town. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moko. Ms. Chick and then Ms. Starbuck.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Lenore for all the hard work that she has done on this. And I do know it keeps her up at night. She's got a gray hair or two there.
Got a few.
Thanks, Lenore.
Thanks.
Ms. Starbuck, did you have anything or are you all set? You're all set. Okay. Yeah. Miss Otto, did you have anything?
No, I was just pointing to my hair.
I got a few more to go.
But pulls his hair out.
I mean,
right.
Fun. I do think about it a lot to make sure that that we are secured, especially with that. We have a lot of money, so.
And I appreciate it, Miss. I think the residents of our community can rest well at night. Miss Eleanor is looking out for financial interests. I think this is a great move. It's wonderful that you were able to find an institution that allowed us to diversify and would collateralize it.
Right.
Phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Not many banks collateralize anymore. So good thing.
All right. With no other comments, then I'll ask Ms. Manley to call the roll.
Chick.
Yes.
Manley, yes. Otto.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Moko.
Yes.
Ignan.
Yes.
Zelenak.
Yes.
All right, 7-0.
Excellent. Next item on the agenda, I know it was this was going to be a financial only special meeting, but this came up and it requires quick attention, and that's if someone would make a motion to authorize the township manager to sign paperwork associated with the McCullough Trust grant that has been awarded to Northfield Township Community Center for a defibrillator and to pay for the flooring replacement, or at least the great majority of the flooring replacement. If any of you
That's your motion, Mr. Dignan, I'll support it.
as a motion, then.
That's a lot to repeat.
I know, that's my motion. I appreciate support. Just so you guys know, this was a grant that was pursued after we found out that the budget item was going to be over, and it just goes to speak to the tremendous staff we have, and the always looking out for things. This will be a great help on that moving forward. We have not awarded and approved the final flooring yet. There was some questions that came up about the condition of an area of the floor that's being looked at, and it'll be brought back to the board here for final approval once it's ready to go. But anyway, so there's my motion to authorize the township manager to sign the paperwork to get the grant money. Any questions on that?
I'd just like to say thanks, to Tammy for going out and get this Abruptness.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
He's amazing.
Yeah, Tammy's
Great job.
so that was all. Just publicly thank her for her efforts on this.
definite.
Second, Eleanor.
With that, Ms. Manley, will you call the roll, please?
Yep. Moko.
Yes.
Zelenak.
Yes.
Dignan.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Manley, yes. Chick.
Yes.
Otto.
Yes.
7-0.
Excellent. No formal announcements. This will conclude the 2020 meeting schedule for the Township Board. We do not have any meetings from now through the end of the year as it stands, nor do we plan on having any. We'll go to petitions and communications. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the board at this time? If so, please raise your hand. Not seeing anyone that's raising their hand. We'll move on to board member comments. We'll start with Ms. Manley. Anything?
I just want to say welcome to everybody. It's been a great couple meetings so far. And just everyone have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, stay safe.
Excellent. Mr. Moko?
Same thing Kathy said. I can't wait till we can meet in person. This is tough every which way around. But have a Merry Christmas to everybody. And we'll see you around soon.
Ms. Chick?
I want to thank Ms. Starbuck for being here and all of the work that she's done. I love seeing you, a virtual hug. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody. Enjoy a safe holiday.
Thank you, Ms. Chick. Mr. Nelson?
Thank you to Ms. Starbuck and Mr. Pfeffer, even though he's no longer here with us, for awesome work. Good job done here. I think we accomplished a lot with this audit. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I wish we could be there in person, like we all do. Wish we could be there serving you in person, but we're trying to do the best we can with what we have, and that's what we all got to do. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, whether it be at home or with your families. Stay safe.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Ms. Zelenak?
Yes, I'd like to let people know again that we will be open on Monday, December 28th until 5 p.m. to take tax payments as required by the state statute. You have to pick a day, and that's our day that we'll be open till 5 instead of 4:30. I'd like to thank Ms. Starbuck as well as Mr. Pfeffer for the audit. And I'd like to thank our fellow board members that we did things for the people, as well as I think we're in a good financial position going forward to be prepared if the foot drops on COVID for the township. So I think we're in good financial position at this point in time. So
thank you, Ms. Zelenak. Ms.
Oh,
Otto?
thank you. And everybody have a nice holiday. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Thank you, Ms. Otto.
Yes, I wanted to thank Yvette. I know it's 4.5 years, and I said, really? It's been that long already? It just seems like, wow, we just got her, and I don't want to let her go. I know when she came, when she interviewed for the position, she didn't have that much municipality experience, and we took a risk, and we are so glad that we took the risk because we knew that she had the knowledge, she had the accounting sense and everything. We just are very happy. Also, I wanted to thank the community for the Kiwanis Christmas tree sales. We were very successful. We completed our sales as of last weekend, and the tree that we thought we lost, we found. We sold all 62 trees. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a very blessed New Year.
Thank you, Ms. Otto. I was wondering, Mr. Ains, I don't mean to put you on the spot. I usually don't like to ask folks something I haven't prepped them for, but hours from now through the year end, as far as office hours and the ability of the public to be able to come in, do we have a sense of what that's going to look like?
Yes, this past week, or current week, we've been open since Monday, and it's been very light traffic as far as the public. We are going to be closed tomorrow, as we had previously announced, let staff catch up on some things. But we will be open next Monday through Wednesday of Christmas week from 8 to 4:30. And then the following week, it'll again be Monday through Wednesday. Same hours, except I think Ms. Zelnick was talking about Monday doing the 8 to 5 p.m. to satisfy the state requirements.
Correct.
So we've got it staffed at a minimum number of people to try to minimize exposure of employees to one another and the public. But we'll have at least 2 office people and myself those days.
Thank you, Mr. Ains. I appreciate that. And I'd just like to remind the public, if you are coming out, please just be respectful of others. If you come in and you notice there's a couple people in the lobby, if you wouldn't mind waiting in the vestibule or just outside till someone comes out. You know, we don't know what the health condition might be of someone else, and we're just trying to be respectful of those individuals and do what we can. You know, the board asked Mr. Ains to open the office back up, to be there to serve you as a community. You know, we're just trying to do everything we can, you know, and want to be able to give you access to your government. The only comments I have otherwise are to my board members who were on the previous board and to the individuals who served on that previous board. Kudos to you guys. The audit report reflects a very high standard of governance in regards to the fiscal welfare of the community. And, you know, I, for one, am very proud of the fact that our township is in the financial shape that it is in. We look forward to carrying that forward to the future. Ms. Starbuck, we owe a tremendous amount of credit to yourself and Ms. Zelenak. You know, it's nice to have Mr. Pfeiffer available for questions that as we look to even possibly improve things that, as he said, we're a small township. You would expect to see those things, but if we want to ask him how to, he's offered to be there to help answer questions for us. That's great. Otherwise, I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year. That's all I have. Miss Chick, and then
Mr. Wagner's here. Did he have something he wanted to say, or is he just watching?
Welcome, Matt. Mr. Wagner.
Oh, I was just listening. I figured, you know, two of the larger funds are for the police and fire department. And so if there was any questions, I thought I would be here to answer those questions. So
thank you.
But no, Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Bill.
Thanks, Miss Otto. And then Mr. Nelson.
So I did forget one last announcement, which is even more important than any meeting. It on the 19th and the 20th, there is going to be a Zoom with Santa. It is the community center was not able to do their annual dinner with Santa this year. So instead they have set up a Zoom with Santa. You could do 5 minutes of Zoom with Santa and you will receive a recording of the visit.
Yeah, cool.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
I must sign up for my 5 minutes. I'm telling
me
you.
too.
Hey, Jackie, where do you register for that?
She did publish it on the Northfield area news, if you want to look there.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay.
I
do know the person that is doing the operations of the Zoom. So if you want to, I can send you the link. I know the person that's helping Santa.
Santa's helper. Excellent. Mr. Nelson, did you have something before we close out? No? Oh, okay. All right. If there's nothing else, would someone like to entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll support.
Supported by Otto. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Excellent. Thanks, guys. Have a great holiday.
You too.
Yeah, Merry
Have
Christmas.
a great night.
Thank you.
Merry
Merry Christmas.